What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Closing Open Wounds with your cousin Cleisha. And we're going to talk about something today. I hope you're ready. All right, we're not going to be long, but we're going to be strong today. So let's talk about sex. Actually, we're going to be talking about the difference between abstinence and celibacy. And we want to make sure that we are praying and declaring the right terminology over our lives and in our prayers and when we are talking to one another. So I got a few notes here, and I hope you enjoy what I have prepared for you and do a study of your own just to see. So let's talk about abstinence in the spiritual aspect of abstinence. Spiritually, abstinence fosters deeper connection with God by reducing distractions, cultivating self-control, and creating space for prayer. This leads to increased spiritual intimacy, self-awareness, and alignment with divine will, allowing redirection of energy from physical desires to spiritual pursuits and demonstrating trust in God's plan. It builds discipline, strengthens the mind, and helps one overcome addictions by recognizing inner lack, ultimately promoting wholeness and focus on eternal blessings over worldly pleasures. I got that off of the internet, off of Google with ChatGPT, and I thought this was absolutely amazing. An amazing description of what abstinence mean. So a lot of us, I hear throughout the years and, just throughout life, I've heard of many people saying, well, I'm celibate. Oh, I'm practicing celibacy. Well, let me give you the actual definition of celibacy. Okay. It is a duration, a long-term or lifelong commitment. Okay, a broader scope choice to abstain from sex, often with spiritual or religious foundation. Okay, so basically celibacy are for the people like our monks or the people like who are in religious, have religious titles, and they have sworn to celibacy. Okay, I mean, they don't desire to get married. They don't desire to have sex, and that's lifelong. I'm not praying that. Okay. Whereas when we talk about abstinence, now abstinence is a duration. It's just a temporary or situational period of time where you're waiting for marriage or you're focusing on a goal. And in addition to abstinence, it's not just abstaining from sex. You can be abstinent from alcohol, drugs. You can be abstinent from anything that you feel has become a god or something that you have not had the best control over. So I want to make sure that we are saying the right things when we are educating people and we're talking to people. Basically, celibacy is a form of abstinence, but not abstinence is all celibacy. Understand that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay. Abstinence is typically a temporary or situational choice to avoid sex until marriage, while celibacy is a long-term, often lifelong commitment to refraining from sexual activity, frequently for religious, spiritual, or personal reasons like priesthood or personal growth. Celibacy amplifies a broader, deeper lifestyle choice, sometimes including vows, whereas abstinence is often about timing or circumstances and can be more flexible. So if you're like me and we are abstaining until marriage, that's what we're doing. I don't want you using the wrong terminology. Words are very important. Okay. And we have to be careful of the words that we are speaking over our lives. So that's why I'm bringing this to you in such a way and so abruptly. I know we talk about a lot of things here, and by the way, like I said, if you're new here, welcome. Okay. And these are the things that we talk about to promote physical and spiritual growth and maturity. So this is what I'm doing. I am practicing abstinence until I get married. And there's many, many benefits to that. Now, to segue into that, this goes into what you may be doing as well, is into courting, the period of getting to know someone with the serious intention of getting married. Let me say that again. Courting means the period of getting to know someone with the serious intention of marriage or long-term commitment, involving intentional actions, traditional wooing, and often a slower pace with less intimacy than modern dating, focusing on building a strong foundation through chivalry, respect, and open communication about future goals. It's about proving commitment through consistent effort, planning meaningful dates, and showing value for the other person, distinct from casual dating. I don't know about you, but long gone are the days of casual dating. Definitely for me. I suggest courting as to dating. This is where I am in my life. I feel so good about it. I feel wonderful being on this journey with the Lord. It definitely, throughout my experience, it definitely deepens your spiritual connection to God. And especially like us in ministry, we want to make sure our hands is clean, and it's very, very hard. I have not always been successful in this. I'm never going to lie to you. It is something that I have had to work through and pray through because, physical touch is my love language. And unfortunately, intercourse sometimes is the result of physical touch. There is a difference. Okay. So, basically, I am, for 2026 or whenever you come across this video, my prayer is that we that are intentionally dating, not to date or go out with people who we do not see a future with. I understand the culture and everyone saying date everybody. But I beg to differ with that, because if I can't see a future with someone, not even a little bit, I know in some instances you got to give space for things to warm up, and you may be surprised about the person that you're talking to, and you never know, But if initially, if you're drinking, you're smoking, we're not on the same level, we're not even on the same book, we're clearly unequally yoked, I'm not going to go on a date with you. I'm not even going to waste your time or your money. I'm just not going to do it. And a lot of people are doing that. And also what I do want to bring to your attention, that the problem that I have with casual dating is that men will, and now it's women too. So some people now, most people, it seems, and I don't mean to make a general statement, but I pray you understand what I mean, that people are sleeping with people and having intercourse with people who you have no intention of having a life with. And that's really, really sad. And there's always one person that wants it. And, us women, we do it to try to be connected to the men, and men do it for whatever their reasons are. I know as a woman, if I'm laying down with someone, it's because I love them. Right. But it's not always like that these days. And sex has become so casual. So, I just wanted to give you guys something to think about. This is the world that we live in. And I really want to tell you this, whether you're a male or female, your essence, your energy, your sacred, space is really, really sacred. And what God expressed to me is that you can't give that just to anybody. You can't give that to anyone who doesn't honor you. I want to be honored. As a woman, I desire to be honored. It is very hard for me in ministry. And you guys know, I say this all the time. I've been married multiple times, and all Christian marriages. But men can desire, or anyone can desire, because there's a lot of men that got a lot of oil on them as well. I don't want to omit them. But people can desire the anointing on your life and not know how to steward it. Now, I say this, I'm not saying that, everything was my ex-husband's fault at all. I had a part to play in it because I never should have married. I did not go to God and say, is this the person that I should marry? And the last time that I did, he gave me all the answers to say no, and I still ran through it. So that is my fault. And I paid my dues. I paid for that. Now I'm more the wiser. But a lot of people will see a person in ministry and desire them for their own selfish desires and not understand the burden that comes with ministry, not understand the yoke that you have. And the next time, which will be my last time around, I need to make that evident, and I'm going to. I was on Facebook the other night with my sister. I'm in one of these groups. I don't even know how I got in the group. I didn't accept my sister put me in the group, and I'm in this group, and, it's single, saved people in there. I guess they profess to be Christians and whatnot. And I'm very leery with dating apps and stuff like that. I don't like it, guys. I don't like how desperate people have become, especially women. You got to show your breasts. You got to turn around and let them know what you're working with. I don't like that. So I was very leery in putting a picture up. So I put a picture up, and maybe I'll put a picture up in the video so you can see, and of my first Sunday outfit, right? And one guy said, no, I messing with her because she got the oil, and he was just commenting. He's my friend now on Facebook. He's funny. And he's just like, no, she's not going to be going to God on me because I left my clothes on the floor. And I found that so funny. People can see the oil on your life. That's what I want to get to. People can actually see the oil on your life, and you attract people with your anointing. It comes with it. You attract people, you attract demons, you attract healthy people that want to connect with you. You just attract things, right? So people can see that. And when he made those comments, I said, God, yes, people can see me. That is amazing that people can see me. And instead of just seeing me, I need my husband to be able to steward me. Pray for me. Cover me when I go out and minister, whether through song or delivering the word. Cover me. I have been married, but I do not know how it feels to be properly covered. I've always had to be the prayer warrior, always had to be the brains of the operation. Most of the time, the breadwinner. And it just drains you as a woman, because that's not the role that God has called us to play indefinitely. There will be seasons, and seasons changed. I talked about that before. In marriage, seasons change, and sometimes you're going to have to fit the bill, and I'm cool with that. I'm an independent woman, and a lot of men are attracted to that as well. I'm good, right? I don't need your $40. I say that all the time. God has sustained me, and I'm grateful, and I'm blessed. But in this stage of my life, at 44 years old, I need to be taken care of. I need to be stewarded and done properly with the grace of the Lord. I need, there's just certain things that I know who I am now. Before, when I was married, I got married very, very young at one point, in my 20s. And I didn't know who I was, oh, you love the Lord, I love the Lord. Okay, let's get married. And the marriage only lasted for 2 years. Okay. And, fast forward all these years later, now I know better. Another thing, I being a Christian, you want to do the right thing. So in my, becoming, it was like, oh, it's better to marry than to burn. And then I go to, theological seminary and realize that's not what it meant. And I'm thinking like, burn in hell, let me hurry up and get married. That's why I've been married so many times. That's one reason why, because, I wanted to be right. I didn't want to be in sin. So being abstinent is definitely a challenge for me, being married so many multiple times. And having periods of singleness. But this time, I just feel so good about this time. I'm aware, I know who I am, and I just wanted to share those things with you guys. Let me know what you think. I don't have all the answers. If you got some tips for me, put them in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.